to include the word bona fide in page 4, line 4, and again in page 4, line 11 in relation to a customer is just pushing the ambit of this prescription and regulation too far.
For instance, is my honourable friend for Bournemouth suggesting that I'm a stooge trying to keep my honourable friend going in business?
I'm not going to be drawn into that.
To Christopher Cho.
Mr. Speaker, going down these amendments one by one, we've done number 18, which is to leave out bona fide. Amendment number 19 is similar, leave out bona fide in page 4, line 11. I don't need to address my remarks to that. Then we come to amendment number 20, which is to leave out from customer to the end of line 13 on page 4. And what the effect of that would be to enable the person to carry on trading from the time including the time he commences the transaction of selling goods to a customer or supplying a service for payment by a customer, and but would leave out the references to up to the moment when the transaction is completed or aborted. And I think that that again would be add a lot of clarity and reduce the amount of restriction that there is in this bill. It's perhaps not the most important of all the amendments, but I think that it's nevertheless one that merits serious attention. And then in amendment number 21, page 4, line 15, clause 5, leave out the words bona fide. Won't go over that ground again. And then we come to page 4, clause 5, leave out lines 20 to 24. This is amendment number 22. And that, Mr. Deputy Speaker, would remove the requirements relating to measurements of minimum distance, because at the moment minimum distances, I think everybody understands what a minimum distance is, although I'm against the references to minimum distances, certainly the short distances contained in clause 5 at the moment. I think everybody knows how to measure a distance, and I don't think that we need to define this so tightly as to say that the minimum distance operates in a straight line except to the extent that the ground isn't level. I'm slightly confused by what that means, because the passage along the line is obstructed by buildings, fixed structures or private property. Mr. Deputy Speaker, if we're going to have any confidence in a bit of common sense, then surely we don't need to have this type of prescription set out in subparagraph B on lines 20 to 24 of clause 5, page 4. And the last of this group of amendments is amendment number 23. And arguably, this is one of the most important amendments in this group, Mr. Deputy Speaker, because it bears directly upon the quote that I gave a short time ago from the chairman of the Unopposed Bill Committee, when he said that there was no intention on the part of the Unopposed Bill Committee to redefine the word peddler. And therefore, what we should be saying, in my submission, is that subparagraph 2 of clause 5, instead of saying nothing in subsection 1 should be taken to extend the range of activities that comprise acting as a peddler, because as it's drafted at the moment, as I've said, it does restrict the range of activities comprising acting as a peddler, compared with those activities which are set out under the Pedlars Act and under case law under that Act. I think it would be much clearer and indeed would reflect more accurately the express intentions of the chairman and other members of the unopposed Bill Committee to say nothing in subsection 1 should be taken to restrict the range of activities that can comprise acting as a peddler. The complete reverse of what's on the face of the bill at the moment. And the reason that I think this is important is because there's a lot of suspicion, Mr. Deputy Speaker, about motives involved in all this. And there's been a breakdown of trust between the peddlers and the various boroughs where you've got enforcement officers, they believe, harassing them unnecessarily. And if this bill goes forward in a way that could be argued restricts the range of activities which currently comprise acting as a peddler, not only will it be premature because we are going to have the report from the government following the consultation which is already taking place, but it will also, I think, really add to the sense of frustration that the peddlers have got, and their feeling that they are an oppressed minority. Only some 3,500 of them up and down the country, and some of us today are trying to defend their interests and indeed encourage more people to be able to participate in the art and activity of peddlery, which brings so much joy to so many parts of the country and to so many people. But Mr. Deputy Speaker, I think I've summarised my amendments, and I beg to move that these amendments be made to the bill.
Well done.
We're dealing with Amendment 2, page 10, line 10, clause 2, after trading, insert and peddlery. The question is the amendment be made. Tobias Elwood.
I'm grateful, Mr. Deputy Speaker. This has been a very long process in debating this bill. Can I just place on the record, my concerns that we could have had another 45 minutes prior to the beginning of this debate, when the last chunk of business finished. The chamber was suspended. Sadly, I believe that was unhelpful, and it's a shame we could have had more time to debate these. I'll give way very briefly, but we need to make progress on this bill.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I heard what my honourable friend said, but in fact I don't think that's quite correct, because there was a 3-hour limit would have been imposed if the government's motion had been accepted.
My honourable friend is not correct. There was an objection made to us continuing with.
Order, if we can just stick to the amendments before the House and not go into things that have happened before today.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, there has been a lot of history behind this bill. We've debated this bill more than we've debated most of the government bills which have been put through Parliament this year. And the Honourable Member for Christchurch, who initially objected to this bill being perhaps pushed through at a pace which was he was uncomfortable with, made it very, very clear, and I think that was accepted. We had to give it due discussion, due debate. I think we've now had that discussion and that debate. I'm concerned that we've suddenly had 81 amendments brought in at the 11th hour, and I hope we're able to bring things to a conclusion here today. The issues which I'm afraid we've got far too away from is the relationship between street traders and indeed peddlers. Both have a legitimate role in society today, and unfortunately there is a legal blurring of how the two work together, to the point that local authorities up and down the country are having issues with how to control town centres themselves. And the whole purpose of this bill, which follows behind other bills, whether they be from Leicester, Medway or indeed London, is to try and reconcile that difference. I'll be the first to acknowledge, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that a national level of legislation covering all local councils would be sensible. But unfortunately, we are a long way off that, and the consequences and the situations that we see in town centres are such that there is a sense of